Crispin Cheadle is the National Sales and Marketing Manager at Advantage Air. He joins us on What's Next. Crispin, good to see you. And I have been in that room that we are talking to you from today. So I know a lot about your technology, but for our viewers, please do share a little bit about Advantage Air, your history, and what solutions you're currently providing.
Cool. So Advantage Air is a company that was started out of a garage, essentially, about 30 years ago. We've got 12 full-time R&D engineers now developing smart home products. We do about 20,000 of those a year between South Africa and Australia. We're a company that loves innovation and hopefully making people's lives a bit better.
All right, well, there you go, pretty straightforward. And I love these success stories where you guys started off. Whose lives can be improved by a smart home system? And what are some of those irritations that smart home systems can actually solve?
Cool. So we think anybody who's sort of future looking or sees themselves as an early adopter would love our sort of stuff. Anybody who loves great tech, they would love our stuff. We build things that we believe are reliable and great for everyday sort of irritations, like you just mentioned. Some of those examples would be things like maybe if you leave your house and you leave your garage, your gate open, it's obviously a bit of security risk. Getting a notification that you've done that and being able to close that remotely, that's pretty useful. If you get a delivery from, say, an internet, an online delivery, being able to open your garage remotely, let them in, let them drop it off, and let them leave without having to be at home. Similarly, maybe some people don't like giving their cleaners or gardeners access to the house with keys and remotes. It's the ability to control that, access control as well. Those sort of little things in terms of security. Maybe if people are lucky enough to go away on holiday during this pandemic and they want it to look like there's still somebody at home, then the curtains can close and the lights switch on when the sun sets. It looks like there's somebody in the house responding to the sun going down. That's starts getting pretty cool. The other sort of things, maybe if someone's got a baby or a young child and they wake up during the night, you want to be able to walk into the room, a motion sensor picks up your motion and the lights switch on, but at a very dim level, so they don't wake the child up any more than you want. And then you're able to feed or care for the child or nurse the child and then put the child down again. And when you leave, the lights switch off again. Those are sort of some of the sort of lifestyle benefits. For example, I've got an irritation at home. Somebody in the house always seems to forget to switch lights off, which cooks some people, and I know I'm one of those people. So having lights that automatically switch themselves off after a certain time at night or in the morning, once it gets daytime at 8 o'clock, switch off all the lights that are in because they shouldn't be left on. Or my current favorite is if it's below 16 degrees in the bedroom in the morning, to switch the aircon on to heating and warm it up to a nice toasty 20 degrees or 21 degrees so that by the time I wake up, I don't shiver myself to death trying to get changed in the morning. Yeah, so those are some of the irritations that I could think of quickly.
Okay, well, now listen, I can do with quite a few of those irritations that smart homes can sort out. And yeah, I hear with you on the light story. I mean, when you look at those key features, what are some of the key features of the smart home system solutions that you guys actually provide?
So I think for us, it's sort of very reliable. That's one of our sort of key things. We do this continuous innovation. So every 6 months, new software comes out or new hardware comes out to add on to your system. It's modular. At the moment, we control things like air conditioning, as you will know for years and years, lighting, blinds, garages, gates, curtains, obviously, geysers. What else do we control that I can think of from the top of my head?
How do you control a geyser, for example? Is it a simple on and off, or is it linked to you setting a temperature specifically? I mean, the geyser, although it's a simple item, it probably is the one item that probably uses the most amount of electricity. The fact that you can control it on and off could lead to substantial savings. So I'd love to hear about your geyser solution.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just something we connect into our system, and then you can use the timing or scheduling so that it switches on and off only around the times you're going to need it or that it's going to have to work. particularly if you've got a geyser blanket, you don't need it to run all day, drawing all your electricity, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Your geyser can be set to any, temperature, as you know, any temperature you want, and it maintains at that. Once you've obviously got the scheduling going.
Yes, yes. So I mean, your system is very customizable. What I'm hearing, I mean, you can literally turn anything into your home into a smart device, right?
So I think anything that requires electricity, basically,
Yeah.
we can control. We've also integrated into some Philips Hue products, so motion sensors, light bulbs, for example. So where I sit and read in the evenings, I have a Philips Hue light bulb that once I bugger off, it automatically switches itself off. So we've integrated into a bunch of other devices like that. But yes, anything that requires electricity.
That's fantastic. Your system, which I've seen, by the way, is pretty cool. What are you
Thank you.
most proud of on the system that you guys provide?
So I think the thing we're most proud of is that it works. Most electronics have a failure rate of about 10%. Ours is 3%. So once it's in, it works. We also give a 5-year guarantee or warranty, rather. I don't know anything in this space with a 5-year warranty on it. I mean, we're that confident that it works, and it works reliably for years and years and years.
And when you look at the installation, I mean, how would you actually describe your unit? What makes your unit different to other, kind of IoT home automation devices? I mean, look at your installation process. What's that like? What does it involve to put your system into an average home?
Cool. So we have got a few wireless parts, but primarily our stuff is still wired. So unlike home automation, there's one sort of big bus port. We have a number of different modules that go around the house. And then obviously, unlike pure wireless IoT stuff, we're still wired. The downside to that is that some places are very difficult. If there's a slab and you need to wire back to a module, that can be really tricky. The upside, obviously, is that it works. It works, it's reliable. And because it's modular, it can get spread through the house, so it doesn't need one big section, like room, just for that module, or those modules.
Yes. So it sounds to me like it's a lot more robust than your traditional solutions that are out there.
Sure. So it is, because it's wired in, and we supply things to control the power. South Africa, we have power fluctuations, thanks Eskom. So it's quite reliable in terms of that. It's very robust because it goes for years and years and years. We've got things for our air conditioning which have been in ceilings for 15 years and they still carry on. It's reliable because it's wired in again, and wiring is still sadly the most reliable.
Yeah. I mean, is it quite difficult to install? I mean, you look at your aircon system that you just spoke about. Some older air conditioners, for example, are not necessarily Wi-Fi enabled. They, one of those systems that are still very, you need a remote to operate it. So can you turn that particular aircon into a smart aircon, for example, using your system?
Sure. So anything that's ducted or like centralized aircon, we turn into a smart system. And not just that it's remote controllable from your cell phone, which obviously is very cool, but where it starts having those cool innovations or those automations, like if the temperature is too high, switch on automatically, or switch between heating and cooling through the day to make sure the temperature maintains it. Or if it's too cold in the room, switch on automatically and switch off automatically. That's where we start getting really cool.
So is it quite expensive? I mean, what are the costs involved using a smart home system like yours? What would it cost to do an average home?
So starter kit for our sort of basic system is 15,000 Rand, which is obviously cheaper than any of the new iPhones or Samsung Galaxy phones. And until quite recently, it was a lot cheaper than a 55-inch flat screen. I believe those are really cheap these days.
Okay, that's not too bad. And is it quite easy to install?
Yeah, it's super straightforward. Because 220 is going through it, you do need to have it as part of your CSC, but our system itself is actually low voltage. So basically anyone can install it. It's very straightforward. They just have to make sure that the electrical connections they're connecting into obviously full part of their COC in their house.
Okay, and how many devices can you connect onto an average system? I mean, is it unlimited, or is it kind of modular that you can add and build on accordingly?
Yeah, 100%. So it's modular. So our first sort of starter kit is 6 things, and then you add another 6 as you go along. And those can be 6 lighting circuits, or a garage, a gate, a light, I don't know, a door, a maglock door,
Yes.
another light. I don't know. I hope I'm at 6 by now.
Yeah.
But it depends on if you want to do parts of your house as you go along. You start off with 6, and then you add as you go.
So I know in where you are at the moment, I mean, you've even put your curtain in your showroom is connected to your system. Is your system flexible to work with things like Alexa or Siri, for example? I mean, how flexible is it to use voice commands on your system?
Yeah, so we work with both Alexa and Google Home. And we've had a lot of fun setting up a bunch of different routines, for things like, I don't want to say it now because then it'll start happening, but if we tell it to open sesame, the curtains open, or close, depending on those different things that we tell. But yeah, it's all controllable through Alexa or Google Home.
Okay, so that's great. That is fully customizable. Crispin, where does somebody get more details on your smart home system at Advantage Air?
Cool. So the best is obviously to go to our website, which is myplaceafrica.co.za. And they can have a look around there and see whether they're interested. There's a bunch of videos, a bunch of information. If they want to come through to the showroom, we've got showrooms in Cape Town and Joburg. We're, a manufacturing company, so our showrooms are in the industrial areas in Montague Gardens in Cape Town and in Kempton Park in Joburg.
But all the information on your website?
100%.
Absolutely. Crispin Cheadle, National Sales Manager and Marketing Manager at Advantage Air, talking to us about some of the amazing innovations and homegrown innovations, I might add, built in South Africa, done in South Africa, designed in South Africa, that these guys are doing. So, Crispin, keep up the amazing work. Well done.
Thanks, man. Aki. Good to see you again.
Likewise. Thank you.